Go ahead and begin by attaching your thread at the index point. And clip the tag into the thread. Advance your thread halfway down the bend of the hook. Now advance your thread forward, ending at the index point of the hook. To create the shell of the beetle, we're going to use a piece of foam that is a bit wider than the gape of the hook. While holding the foam with your material hand, go ahead and attach it at the index point of the hook with 4 to 6 secure thread wraps. Now begin to advance your thread back towards the bend of the hook while binding down the foam on top of the hook shank as you wrap. To ensure that the foam stays centered on the hook shank, hold the foam above the hook shank and pull slightly towards the near side of the hook as you wrap. The thread torque from each thread wrap will align the foam on top of the hook shank. Now advance your thread forward to the index point, binding down the foam as you wrap. Again, bring the thread back halfway down the bend of the hook and then forward to the index point of the hook, securing the foam to the hook shank. With your thread hanging at the index point, go ahead and pull out 4 to 6 peacock curls. Align the tips and cut them off evenly. Now attach the peacock curls at the index point with 3 to 5 secure thread wraps. Now advance your thread back halfway down the bend of the hook, securing the peacock curls to the hook shank as you wrap. Now advance your thread forward, ending at the index point of the hook. With your thread hand, grasp the peacock curls and begin to twist them together. Now begin to wrap the peacock curls around the hook shank, making sure that each wrap lays next to the previous one. Now secure the peacock curls on the near side of the hook shank at the index point with 3 to 5 secure thread wraps. Lift up the peacock curls with your material hand and advance your thread just behind the eye of the hook and secure with 3 to 5 thread wraps. Using a pair of scissors, go ahead and cut off the excess peacock curls as close as you can to the hook shank without cutting the thread. With minimal thread wraps, advance your thread back to the 80% point of the hook. Now grab the foam with your thread hand and bring it over the top of the hook shank and secure the foam to the top of the hook shank at the 80% point with 2 to 3 secure thread wraps. Now prepare and cut a piece of chartreuse foam that is half the gape of the hook. Place the foam on top of the hook shank and secure it with 2 to 3 thread wraps at the 80% point. Now tie in an 1.5 inch long piece of rubber leg material at the 80% point just underneath the foam. Secure with 2 to 3 thread wraps and make sure that each thread wrap lays on top of one another to reduce bulk. Now take another 1.5 inch long piece of rubber leg material and tie it onto the far side of the hook shank at the 80% point. Again, secure the material to the hook shank with 2 to 3 secure thread wraps. Prior to finishing this fly with the whip finish tool, go ahead and cut off the excess foam extending past the eye of the hook. This will help the whip finish tool clear that foam when securing the thread to the hook shank. Now secure the thread to the hook shank using the whip finish tool. Make sure that each wrap of thread when using the whip finish tool lays on top of the previous one to reduce bulk. Now go ahead and clip the thread and apply some head cement if you want to reinforce that whip finish knot. Now cut the excess foam in line with the eye of the hook and cut the corners of the foam on the near and far side to create a rounded head. Now trim the chartreuse foam evenly. Now to trim the front legs and make sure that they're even, go ahead and grab the legs with your material hand and press them forward so they extend past the eye of the hook. With your scissors, go ahead and cut the front legs just in front of the foam. You want the back legs of the beetle to be longer than the front legs. Go ahead and cut the back legs just in front of the bend of the hook. And that's how you tie the rubber leg beetle.